I don't feel like I've had experience anywhere enough to feel completely that it's like one place is my home, one place is my root, one place is my, I don't know, like place of origin or connection, let's say. So even now, I feel the most comfortable and confident in my identity as third culture.
Welcome, beautiful people, to the Lost and Local podcast. We're Adam
and Hannah
and Deb,
3 Korean citizens who grew up abroad and are now figuring out life in Korea.
Join us as we share our honest perspective on what it means to be lost and local.
So we're so excited to have our distinguished guest, Deb, today. Anyways, let's do an intro for her.
We're so excited to welcome our guest today, Deb, a sister Adam and I first met through church, who's passionate about worship, and her joyful, playful spirit immediately stood out. Deb brings warmth and authenticity wherever she goes, and it's been such a gift to get to know her this past year. She and I share a surprising number of parallels. We're both only children. We both moved to the U.S. because of our parents' academic pursuits, and we've even ended up doing grad school at the same time in Boston, only to reconnect back here in Korea. So we didn't even know each other, even though we were in the same sort of radius. What makes Deb's story especially compelling is the work she does with smart cities at the intersection of international development and urban planning. Today, we're diving into how her third culture upbringing has influenced who she is today. Welcome, Deb.
Welcome, Deb.
Thank you for having me here.
So excited. You are our first guest from ARC Church.
Woo!
Amazing. And great honor.
I didn't realize that the two of you were in Boston at the same time.
Yeah.
Wow, that's crazy.
I know.
All right, but your paths never crossed.
No.
Maybe somewhere in H Mart.
Like kind of like, you know, like those K-drama moments where the main male lead and the female lead just like pass each other. That's probably me and Deb.
That'd be so cool if we could have like CCTV of and be like, oh, there they are.
Right.
It's a small city.
It is.
It's actually really small. And you lived in Somerville, right?
I did. Somerville and Cambridge.
Same.
Yeah, but it was great just reconnecting in Seoul, I guess, at ARC.
Or connecting, because we never connected before.
Who knows?
Oh. Yeah, and speaking of connected, we all ended up at ARC Church. We mentioned ARC Church in the past, but Deb was one of the OG, like, part of the church plant back in October of 2023.
Yes.
And then my wife and I came technically in January of 2024, and then Hannah came in
July of 24.
Yeah. But we're all part of the same church now, and but yeah, so Deb was the one welcoming us.
Oh, wait, same. My first Sunday.
Oh, really?
You sat across from me.
Okay.
Oh,
yeah,
that's great.
I do remember your humble beginnings. Anyway,
that's great. As we usually do when we have our guests or in just our regular episodes, we like to do a little bit of an icebreaker. So Hannah, what are we doing today for icebreaker?
Today, we're going to talk about the first K-drama we've watched.
Oh, nice. Okay.
I might be butchering the English title for this, but the Korean title is 대장금.
Oh my gosh!
Oh, wait, same?
Yeah!
Pearl in the Jewel? No. Pearl in the Palace?
Oh, I don't know.
Jewel in the Palace, something like that.
Oh,
it's one of the
iconic.
very renowned, famous Korean drama.
What year did it come out? Like, was it back in the early
2000? Yeah. Yeah, I think it's one of the beginnings of K-drama, like like the wave.
Hallyu?
Okay.
Like the K-wave?
Okay.
Yeah.
Jewel in the Palace,
Yeah.
you're right. And it came out in 2003.
We'll put it up on the screen. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, nice. So you saw it too, Hannah?
I guess we're like in the same age range.
Yeah, you guys are only like a year apart.
Yeah. I mean, but my very, very first drama was 가을 동화.
Ah, yes, I do remember that.
Autumn Concerto or something. We can put it in down below.
Yeah. We'll put it on the screen.
It's like the beginning of 막장 dramas.
Really?
Yeah.
That's makjang?
Yeah.
I thought it was a beautiful...
막장 drama is like Korean dramas that are very over the top. and like crazy dramatic, like
Ah.
kimchi slapping, or like
Correct.
you fall in love with your like
Brother. Yeah.
like your brother that you got separated at birth. Like they're like Korean dramas are known for
Yeah.
that. And I kind of feel like it was bakjang because like she got sick. There's something about brothers and like amnesia, the iconic amnesia, but I didn't really speak Korean when we were watching that. So I just remember crying because my mom was crying and she was
really?
like watching it.
Interesting.
But the first drama I actually really understood was 대장금.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, and it's like the story of this girl who becomes like a palace maid, and she's like a really good cook, and so like 20 episodes is her cooking. And it's like beautiful, like food, like.
And then there's a change of career.
Yeah, and then she loses her sense of taste. So she becomes a nurse.
Right.
Like the
How
first
did you remember
nurse.
this all?
Because it was like big in my head.
I don't even remember the
ladies,
story.
My wife is so good at remembering what dramas are about. I can't hardly remember anything. So when I rewatch something, it's like watching it new again.
Oh. I see.
That's funny.
Okay, so those are your two dramas. Okay, so mine is also back in the mid 2000s. It was the first K drama that my wife and I watched together, and it happened to be the first one that I ever watched. I don't know if you guys know this. It's called 고맙습니다.
Never heard.
Never heard.
Really?
고맙습니다.
Wow, that's a
What
very
was it about?
straightforward title.
Yeah, it's basically thank you, right? So 고맙습니다. I think it came back out in like the 2006, 2007.
It's with Chang Yeogen.
Yeah.
Oh, I've never seen this.
I think I've heard of
It's
it.
good.
Oh.
You should watch it.
Is it a movie
okay.
or?
It's a TV series.
Okay.
Yeah, that was my first TV series, 고맙습니다. And we watched the whole thing.
Wow.
Yeah, so I don't know how many episodes
nice.
it was, but yeah.
When was it? 2007.
Seven.
Okay.
Probably 16.
Yeah, I don't think it's like available on Netflix. It's such an old drama, but I've been wanting to watch it again just because it was my first one.
For the memes.
Yeah. Yeah, you know, these days the old shows have been coming up again on Netflix. So maybe.
Okay.
Wait,
you're
but
lucky.
do you know why?
Why?
It's because of when life gives you tangerines. Their life story connects with all these dramas that were filmed in Jeju. And like they become successful because of these teams who like buy things from their restaurant. So Orin, it's like a casino drama that was huge in the 2000s.
Yeah, filmed
that
in
like that
Jeju.
resurfaced, like all these things that were filmed in Jeju-do are like resurfacing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Cool, that's fun. If you guys have any of your favorite Korean dramas, please post them down below if you're watching the YouTube version of this. Hannah, why don't you start with the question?
Our official first question for all our guests. Where did you grow up?
Okay. Yeah, I always have, I guess, two places like for this question. Korea and the US. And I always use the word moving back and forth. So I was born in Korea when I was born in Korea first. And there's also a funny story behind it because I think my parents, they were intending to do their PhD in the US. So they actually thought that I was gonna be born in the US when they're there. Because the month kind of lined up that way. But I came out early, which meant that I chose.
You could have been a U.S. citizen.
But maybe I chose to be a Korean, or I was destined to be a Korean.
Yeah.
I had to have
That's
that.
interesting. I didn't know about this fact. That's cool.
Yeah, I came out early.
Wow.
And then I was only 2 months old when I actually moved to the US because my parents had to do their studies there. And in a state called Ohio.
Oh, that's
Where it's
right.
not so, like populated by Koreans or many Asians back then, I guess. So yeah, I grew up there for like 5 years, and then I moved back to Korea because my parents like ended their studies, finished their courses, and we came back, and immediately I just encountered this like new world. And even when I was in the US, even at a young age, I think I felt something like that something was very foreign about where I was like being brought up. And then coming back to Korea was like such a culture shock.
Yeah.
And then I think I had just like long years of, I don't know, like some challenging years, like trying to fit in and adjust. And then I had to move back to the US again.
How old were you? When you
7th
moved back?
grade. So it was terrible.
You went through the ringer.
Yeah. So, but just for a year, and then I had to come back.
Because
Yeah.
they're on sabbatical.
Yeah.
Oh,
So when you
yeah.
came back in 7th grade, where did you go to?
7th grade, Ohio again.
Oh.
Yeah, it was very tough, I would say. Adjusting, and I also I think the language was very difficult for me to, like be good at both. I guess in a way, because I had like the English pronunciation that I obtained like when I was very young, but I had to come and the content was all in Korean, and then moving back to when I was middle school, couldn't really fit in, and then coming back for another final year of my middle school.
Oh,
That's hard.
that's crazy rough.
Yeah, so I have a lot of those like moving back and forth moments, even up till now, I would say.
Wait, keep going.
But in a less painful way.
So after 7th grade, you were a year in Ohio in 7th grade. You went back, and then you stayed in Korea through high school. And then did you go to university in the States then?
Yeah, even high school, what happened? I also I moved to different schools within Korea. Like I also did like some international schooling. And then I took finally the Korean, I think like entrance exam, or the high school completion exam. Like,
검정고시?
yeah, GED, something like that. Yeah. And then I went to college. Yeah. In Korea.
Wow.
And then it was still like I went to like one of those like international studies college, which the main language was English for education and for courses. And then even when I was in college, I did move to like New York, New Jersey for a year, and then come back, and then also grad school for the past like 6 years, 5 years. Yeah.
Wow.
And then now in Korea.
Okay, so you went to New York, New Jersey while you were attending school in Korea, doing it overseas?
Yeah, it was like an overseas program, study abroad for a year.
Study abroad.
Yeah.
Wow.
And then you went to you got your master's degree in Boston,
Yes.
like Hannah did.
Boston, yeah.
Okay. And then when did you move after living in Boston? That was your last stint in the USA?
Yeah, so I came back like 2022 when I completed everything, every master related thing in the States.
Oh.
Yeah, and my visa actually didn't work out. So I felt like it was time for me to come back. Yeah.
It's a common story.
Yeah, that's wow.
Of this age.
Yeah, that is becoming like a recurring thing here.
The U.S.
With
is
the third
missing out
culture.
on some highly educated.
Yeah, seriously. Let them miss out because we're better now here in Korea because of you too. So I like the fact that you got rejected. So. Sorry.
It opened another door, yes.
But God works for the best.
Yeah.
Amen.
Wow. Okay. And so when you were in Jersey / New York, were you staying just like in a dormitory?
Yeah, I was in dormitory, and again, my parents were doing their sabbatical, so we kind of, always tried to match that. So they were there. I did my exchange program at like Barnard and that area.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, New York City.
Wow. Yeah, that explains both of you having such a like a westernized USA accent, and yet both of you are super good at Korean too, which is like very similar to my wife. So the three of you have that commonality. So it makes me really not jealous, but I'm just like, wow, it's really impressive because I know how impressive it is for my wife. I thought she was kind of like a diamond in the rough, and then you two come along and you're like, you guys are very similar to my wife in the ability to speak Korean and English. It's very impressive.
Yeah.
Going through the transition of going to the States, coming back, going to the States, coming back, and then going back to the States, were there any like impactful moments that you had? How much do you remember up until you went back to Korea when you were 5 years old? Do you remember anything about the States at that time?
So interestingly enough, I think I'm also a big F. feeler.
MBTI, you're a capital F.
Like, yeah, exactly. It's like a common Korean, I just think.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so I just feel like I do have these like snapshots of memories of childhood, even when I, don't like you think that like as a child you don't remember much,
Mm-hmm.
but I feel like there has been like imprints of certain moments and like both pleasant and also very like it could be like I don't know loneliness or things that were very impactful. So I remember like even in the States, like just entering into like kindergarten or somewhere, like my parents because they were also busy, like feeling like I was entering into like really somewhere that I don't belong or like very foreign and very misfitted. Like everyone looks different than me. And I have to like survive here. That type of feeling, very icy. And like if I do use some like descriptive words, like very cold, like icy and in a way eggshelly, if that makes sense. Yeah. So kind of in the edge and the margin. That was the feeling. And then coming to Korea also, I did experience that because I went to like straight up into like the public school in Korea. And I even entered in 1 year earlier than my age because my parents had to work and very busy, like trying to settle into the Korean society again. So I remember a lot like being left alone at my house, or even when I was at school, like it was very harsh, like that feeling like kind of stuck through, like when I remember back.
Were you comfortable with Korean when you came back, or was that also a learning curve?
Yeah, I think I did use Korean when, even in the States with my parents. But I do remember that they say in Korean, onure, which is like kind of non-native sounding, 교포, like, yeah, although I'm not a 교포, like, I think, yeah, I had that. And I think people are so, like what I learned throughout the years is people are so quick and they're very skilled in a way to find out differences. Yeah. They can like nail it down. Even if you look the same, even if, you are in the same system and all that. Like, yeah, I noticed that like people can tell. And if they do want to take advantage of it or like point that out and frame it and not accept it in, in a non-welcoming way, then yeah, there is that sort of room for that. So yeah,
That's hard.
Yeah.
That's interesting that even though you went to like the preschool situation in the States at that young age, you were cognizant and you were aware of being different even at such a young age. Because not everyone is aware of that or cognizant of it. They just go into it and just remember the good things about it. But you and I are similar in that way. I definitely knew I was very different in that way. But okay, wow. And then going back to Korea, because they could discern that you're not native because you grew up in America basically. I mean, you were born in Korea, but you lived the first 5 years or so in America, so they definitely could, I'm sure, tell your accent. So there was a lot of like bullying or things like that transpired.
Yeah, I think for me to like kind of keep it short, like because I was a newcomer, like in many like places, not only just in the US or just in Korea, but as I said, I did move around a lot, like even within Korea, and like going to different schools and different like neighborhoods, always like entering in as a newcomer, or even like that migrant experience all the time. Like, yeah, I feel like there was like just different culture codes or conduct of behavior that I could never really get. So, yeah, I like, it was just like this constant experience of like, I just, act like what I know to be myself, or like I just interact. And then I seem to get along well in the beginning. And then all of a sudden, there's just something that stood out of me or like my behavior or whatever that annoys or like doesn't really fit well with certain people or group that I was, part of. And then all of a sudden, like I would kind of be in a position where I suddenly am told that I don't belong, and that's when I'm like, like almost like a learning experience where you try to correct yourself. And I try to correct myself. And then it's funny because that doesn't again grant me always it doesn't guarantee me guarantee that acceptance or belonging. And even worse, like I noticed that, like, let's say I change my behavior to from A to B because they say they don't like it, and then the next year another group tells me the exact reason they don't like me is because of B. So then I go back and forth from trying to fit myself or make myself into A and B, whatever, And so I think it really disrupted, or maybe just, had that struggle with like identity and like what is the standard to be accepted. And I had to kind of shake that out or shift out of it. It took me a long time to go through that.
Yeah.
I'm curious, when you went back to the States, to Ohio, in your 7th grade, how was the experience? Because you got bullied and you didn't feel completely accepted when you came back to Korea during your elementary years. When you went back to the States, how was that in comparison to Korea with the schooling system and feeling accepted?
US was another experience because again, there's also like it's more explicit because of racism or discrimination, outright. So because like language was also, I think I was a bit more comfortable with Korean then by
that point, that makes sense.
So English, like it was kind of hard to be more comfortable with it and like, trying to, you have to kind of be cool, like use the cool languages or all that. But that was a struggle. And also I heard so many comments about me that I'm too quiet. I'm too like this or that. And it was funny because then like compared to Korean standard is that you don't want it to stand out too much and you don't want to be highlighted or loud. But like in the US, that was kind of not the case. Yeah, it's the opposite. Yeah. So if you're kind of in the margin, like that's where you kind of are the quiet person, right? So it was a bit more explicit. And then that's actually 7th to 8th grade. Like I think it was one of the moments I hit bottom in my adolescence because it was so hard to be at school. And
it's middle school. Middle school is miserable as it is.
Middle school is tough. Yeah, it's true.
Even like, those like cultural sharing times or like in classes, I bring like seaweed or I bring like what is it, Korean traditional tteok? Like rice cake. And then kids will try it and some were polite and some were nice and they were sweet, but like some explicitly like acted like they were throwing up or like all those like
junior hires.
But it's not just America. It's like I also experienced something similar in Korea. So like, kids and people can be different.
Man, these cultural exchange moments are scarring for minorities.
I'm beginning to see that now. Wow. Oh, wow. That's tough, Deb. And then when you went back to Korea in 8th grade, you said you kind of went in and out of some of the public school systems versus going to international school. So you kind of had a combination of that.
Yeah, I did. For different reasons, I did go through like, I guess, multiple schools, and ended up later like taking that exam. But at the same time, I think, I know I kind of, I don't know, made it a little like the atmosphere a little like calmed down and like sad. But hopeful part is that I do feel like it has been a struggle, and I still have certain scars and wounds and effects from the things that I had to go through. But I know that like there are parts that I know have been redeemed and redeeming and even empowering, you know. So sorry, I forgot the question.
Oh, no, I was just reviewing. So it sounds like your exposure to both Korea and America was pretty, you had a lot of exposure to both. And growing up, I guess this is kind of going into questions 2 and 3, but it seems it's like a natural segue into it. Because you had to go back and forth a few times, even still, I look at people in their young 20s still finding their identity, and then you went back to the States still. So what was your like, because you were exposed to both, how did you see yourself as your identity? Because you have exposure to both the USA Western culture and exposure to the Korean culture. What did you identify as?
Yeah, that's always the big question, I feel like. Even when people ask me that now casually or like formally or somewhere else, you know, other than friends, I do actually say I feel the most accurate description is third culture. And third culture, like maybe in church context, I do say like different citizenship or, you know, like kingdom or like heaven or, you know, the family. But yeah, third culture, because I don't feel like I've had experience anywhere enough to feel completely that it's like one place is my home, one place is my root, one place is my, I don't know, like place of origin or connection, I would say. So even now, I feel the most comfortable and confident in my identity as third culture, and I don't mean it as like a spaceship or somewhere out there, utopia or whatever. But it's more like I even see myself. Yeah, it's like a endless possibility and even like an open option, I would say, where like for me, but for myself, it's like like telling me that okay, like my home is maybe. It doesn't have to be like I don't always have to choose one place or the other. I don't have to like always say this is my friend group and like I don't, you know, like I don't have to pick or choose, but I can feel grounded as I am where I stand today and tomorrow, and the people around me is my home, and you know, the places or the things that I'm doing at that moment in that place is who I am and where I am. And I think it does relate to faith in that sense, you know. It's like inside you, so you can go anywhere, you can be anything. And then for both myself and for others too, like I really like the third culture aspect because I mean, I do also respect and really do love, like I do identify myself, of course, as Korean, citizenship-wise, right? So I do avail myself that way, but I also kind of, you know, have that third culture as my center because it's like kind of welcoming people in from wherever they are. Like even like as a Korean, there could be some, I don't know, barriers and hindrances if Korea is not in a good relationship with some country or not. But like as a third culture, I can be like, you know, I have my home here. Like, would you like to come in? You know, like, and can I also, like, you know, interact with you and just engage with you where you are, wherever that is. You know, it's a bit more welcoming. Yeah.
Wow. Okay. That's like exactly how I feel too. And I'm kind of curious, like, how did you learn about the concept of third culture and like going to different schools? Did you ever meet other third culture kids?
I took it during high school sociology class. I'm just kidding.
I was gonna say that's a pretty advanced
class. No, I feel like it's a sociology term. Is it? Anyway, yeah, and I did also hear a lot from like church context too. Because maybe we're more familiar with that, you know, not just being in one, like tied to one identity or nationality.
Oh, specifically at ARC.
Not just ARC.
Oh.
Yeah, not just ARC for sure. Because I don't know, because I was also part of multi-ethnic churches before.
Mm.
Boston
Yeah,
and
Boston too.
New York.
Yeah. So I actually don't know where I started picking it up, but definitely it kind of started to like be there around me, and I really started to absorb it into my own as my own. And then of course, like, yeah, I do really feel grateful, like even meeting a group of like the community that I'm part of right now in Korea. Because even when I came back to Korea, I was like very, like I have no like connections here, roots here. Like I always felt like I was just gonna go back right away, or even to another country, you know. But like meeting a group of people in community that really actually stands with, or you know, relates with their culture and identifies themselves, or even are open to that, even if they're Korean, or they were raised here, or they were raised in America. Just, you know, being built around that has been really like eye-opening and very, yeah, it's been very transformative. And that's why, like, even whether it's Korean or Korean American, or like just raised purely from America. I think this, like what we are building through these connections and with the third culture, like, you know, identity, is really just open to anyone. It's not just like those who uniquely just have like that kind of experience, but I think everyone actually in their hearts, maybe with their different experiences, may have it. They might be more open to it, you know. Yeah.
Like we're not exclusive. Like
Yeah,
you
for
can
sure.
belong even if we don't share the same exact history.
Yeah. I mean, even those who, I know that there are people who do really think or believe that they're like, they relate the strongest and identify them the strongest as Korean. And I think that's also very beautiful. But even for them, I think in their hearts, like there are some places where they're open, and they're also like, there are gaps even like where maybe some parts they can't be fully, like they don't feel fully accepted or known. But yeah, I feel like, I don't know, under the name of their culture or whatever, if there are people who are willing to, yeah, just bring it out. Like we're here to accept that and like learn and know like who you are, and you know, love the way you are, then yeah, I think that's like really wonderful. Yeah.
I've been thinking about that too. Like what makes ARC a little different from the other English ministries I've like visited. And I wonder if it's because we don't have one dominant majority. Like our pastor is Australian, so we have a couple Australian Koreans. Some of us are like you and me, like we can pass as Korean American, but we're not quite Korean American. And then we have a couple adoptees actually too. And so like there's not one major kind of group. And so in that way we're all kind of like minorities, and we're all looking for belonging together.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when you were in Boston, I'm curious, did you ever go to a KM church, or did you go to like an English ministry church?
Straight up, not even English, straight up like multi-ethnic.
Oh.
Yeah.
But in English.
Yeah.
So the idea of even going to a church with the Korean church umbrella over it, you just gravitated towards a multi-ethnic church.
So I really love Korean American churches too, like Korean churches, because my parents also, their like attachment was, or their sense of home also was from like a Korean church, like Korean American church, and they were in Ohio.
Okay.
Yeah, so for them, it's like part of their home, you know. So I also grew up in that context, but I think maybe really like after some of those like really painful and formative years, and then like I did have some isolated like extended period of time in my life because of coming out from it. After that, I think I just, maybe if I remember it correctly, maybe it was the study abroad experience, like 2013. It was then when I really, because the study abroad program is like it's from everyone from like everywhere, right? Like my roommate was Italian and Brazilian and everyone. And I just started to. I feel like I started really coming alive, like starting then. Although I had my, of course, like still coming out from different things and struggling with different things, I started really seeing the beauty of connecting across boundaries and across like nations.
International spaces.
Yeah. And really coming alive and feeling like I'm alive, I can breathe and wow, I love it, like I can connect with you despite anything, and that's such like empowering and like freeing feeling, liberating feeling. I think just carried on from then and stuck through. Yeah. And then I think going to Boston again, which was, after the study abroad experience, I did come back to Korea to graduate. And then I was wondering about I was figuring out like next steps and grad school came up and then I went. So it was kind of initiated. And then when I went back, it was like, I really tried to fully integrate into that. So multi-ethnic church.
I see.
Yeah. It was just like a immediate choice. And I loved it. Yeah. They were like, family. Yeah.
That's nice. Yeah. It kind of makes sense given the fact that you were exposed to the multicultural already of being in America, then Korea, then America, then Korea, and then going back to America again. It makes sense that you found your people, I guess, or your identity and being in a place that's more diverse.
Yeah.
So that's interesting though, because I feel like we kind of are jumping the process faster to this because you kind of already alluded to the fact that you went back to Korea because of the visa situation. Yeah. So it sounds like was it your thought process after getting your graduate degree? Were you thinking like, oh, I could make the melting pot country my home? Or is that something that was on your mind? Or were you always thinking of going back to Korea after getting your master's?
That's a great question. And I don't know if maybe, again, this is like this is different for each person, but at least the people that I talked to and so that was kind of, I guess I had this belief that like every Korean or a person with like at least some kind of origin or some kind of background of Korean do think about like going back ultimately. It's kind of interesting. Yeah. Maybe not for everyone, but I kind of always also had it. Like even when I thought, I always like from certain age, I always saw myself as just going around the world and living, or like just always going to places to after places.
Oh, nomad. Like being a global nomad. Yeah, it's a term, right?
Yeah.
Global nomad.
Yeah. I mean, this kind of now like is adjusting a little bit, but I think I always saw myself like that. Like, going like, I don't know, even living and even with family, I would go to like live in different places around the world. But also, somehow I think there is still like deep in my heart where like, I don't know if it kind of even is like an allegorical thing about returning to home, like eternal home or that's like, destination, but like kind of going back to where I did come from, even with all so it's kind of interesting, like, as I said, like the allegorical aspect, it's like, you kind of leave home and you go through suffering or hardship, your ship gets wrecked or whatever, but you ultimately, bring yourself back. And I kind of also felt that way because Korea, I think because of the experiences I had as a child, I had accumulated so much pain and so much like even hatred. I don't know if hatred's such a strong word, but little bit like cautiousness and fear about like, like whether I'll be like able to just live in Korea as a Korean with Koreans. And can I be really like can I really, like be accepted, and all that. But yeah, so over the years, I think I just had kind of maybe that unresolved a little bit, and maybe that also led me made me comfortable being abroad for such a long time and just thinking I could continue like that. But also, like even when you're there as a person, if you're not like always like the best of you or healthiest or you've got everything together. I don't know if anyone can do that, but anyway, like I think as you here or there, like it's the same. Like you still have to figure your life out, and there are still difficulties wherever you are. Like if you have personality problems, if you interact there or here, like you also have to fix yourself. Like certain things like that. So I noticed like, okay, like it's not just about running away, or like it's not just about living here or there that makes you comfortable. Maybe in a way, but core wise, like it's something deeper. It's something in you. So I think coming back to Korea, even if it wasn't like so planned, maybe inside like 1/3, I did wish to come back just to rest. And it is a place where my parents live. And I do, at least temporarily, I thought I wanted to actually just take a break from the nomad life. But I didn't know that I would stay like longer, or actually like I would get a job. And I mean, yeah, it did like turn out that I'm like staying here longer and meeting this community and having new friends. Like it was like such a new or very foreign concept.
Was it difficult for you to realize that you weren't able to stay in America because of the visa situation? Because you said like a part of you was embracing the idea of going back to Korea, maybe not facing your demons or whatever, but just going back to the country of origin. But was there a little bit of like, what was that? What was involved in that?
For sure. I think I had a maybe very more than I thought a linear idea of life and career. I think I just thought like, because I started building things in the US, or at least like education wise and connection, community, that I would just continue like I could continue like this, and then maybe in the long term, or when I'm like in my 50s, I can come. I'm not even retired, but just come here and I don't know, do something here or contribute in a way. But it was so interesting that kind of disruption. It kind of felt like a disruption. I also kind of had to pause my career pursuit in a way. I had a trajectory in mind, but it didn't like work out partly because of the visa. So I had to return, and that's why I thought it was only temporary, because I was constantly preparing to go back. And I constantly was just really I felt like my body was here, but all my like contact points and friends that I'm talking daily were in the States, were in Boston. And I felt like my chapter wasn't done, didn't end. And even now, like I'm open, but I did struggle like for a good year and maybe a half, where like I just really felt like this was very transitory, and I can't like establish anything here. I can't really let my roots down, and I just need to pack myself to go.
It's like a rest stop. You're like, it's temporary. We're going back. And just remind me, were you on your OPT waiting for an H-1B?
No. So H-1B didn't, employment visa just didn't work out.
H-1B.
Especially because I think I'm more in the public sector, or like academic. It was less, there was like kind of less chance, I felt like.
I see.
So having moved back to Korea, you obviously have been to Korea since you said you moved back in summer of 22? Or
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. when did you end up getting your position at your job and everything? Like, when did that transpire? And now you're literally a Korean citizen working for a Korean company, or is it a Korean company?
It's also international.
Is it?
And
Yeah,
all
that's
my
right.
colleagues are like international.
That's right. Okay.
Yeah.
But they work alongside the Korean
Yeah.
city, or
It's not, it's also very global based. So we do interact and engage with cities all around the world. Yeah. And cities and, like our entities and our organizations. Yeah.
And did you want to work in that kind of setting intentionally, or you just found yourself in this place?
Yeah, so when I came, again, I think I was just looking at something like a bit more temporary, and I like as a stepping stone to like prepare for my PhD, like going back. So I wasn't too serious, but I was still looking, and then really like I feel like this organization also, like as I found it, it also found me, and I'm right now like it's almost like I'm entering into my third year, because I started like October, but yeah, I've been really grateful, and it's been really eye-opening, like in many different ways. But kind of setting that aside, it's an international organization. And yeah, I didn't know I would enter into this job, and somehow this job, like without even me knowing, really I didn't explain much, but I also studied a lot, like many different fields and very interdisciplinary, but they all kind of came together with this job. So yeah, even more than I could anticipate or expect. So yeah, I feel like it's kind of a life story.
Could you let us know for the rest of those who don't know you, what do you do?
Okay. Yeah. So I work at an international organization that focuses on smart cities. And we do, although like many people think that international organizations work with like government, like nation state level, our membership is more like city and city governments. So we do work closely with city government officials and corporations, institutions to help build cities smarter and more sustainable using digital technology.
And specifically Seoul for you. Right?
Seoul is our like headquarters. And yes, but yeah, we do go around a lot, and yeah.
You got to travel a decent amount of times, which is
trips.
At this age, it's pretty exciting. But if you settle down and start having children, it might be a different story.
No, even with
Really?
I think I really want to challenge that.
Oh, really? Look at you!
I don't know.
See, that's the nomad in you.
Yeah, is it? I want to take, and I want to even for my future, I do want to take my kids, or like I don't know. I just really do feel like I don't want to just settle down. And,
okay.
Yeah.
Really? Wait, because I don't want to do that to my kids.
Okay. Bring it on.
So I'm curious because like I think I had a lot of resentment towards my parents for predetermining my life in a sense, right? Like I can't just get a normal Korean teaching job,
right?
Because I didn't go to college in Korea, and a lot of that is due to the fact that my parents chose to grow up or like raise me abroad. And I felt like I didn't have agency, I didn't have choice. So I don't want to do that to my kids. But I'm curious, like you had a really like tough time with transitioning and like identifying culturally, and yet it's the benefits outweigh the negatives, right? For you, like you want to raise your kids this way.
Yeah, so I do think that like if good parenting follows, or good, I don't know, nurturing, counseling, and the care that's needed for the children is there, then I think what we experience could have its benefits outweigh its costs. Yeah. Because even like if we grew up or went through all that, right? And we do, I know like we talked about it, but like you know, like we talk about as a group, like we do still work on our traumas and we still work on our things of our past. But I think we also like there's such like gifts. I don't know that our experiences also brought us
that's
to be,
true.
or this way they it shaped us to be, right? And the good qualities are the even for others that we can share. So yeah, I do want to give them the opportunity to like, and I do want to raise children in a way that they're not just about caring about one group of people or one and I think that's still okay and that's still beautiful and it has its own strength, right? Taking care of like a set of group of people or like representing or being comfortable with one country or one culture or you know, but I don't want them to be like closed off, you know, or just be so kind of, you know, narrow-minded or in a way that way. So yeah, I do want to expand their horizon in that way, or at least invest in their, I guess, mindset or heart to be more willing and open. Yeah, to be like crossing boundaries or crossing cross-cultural, so cross borders.
Because even though both of you had similar experiences, granted you went to the mission field in China with your parents, but both of you kind of experienced the trauma of being nomadic at a young formative time. I think that regardless of the trauma and both of you guys kind of still like fighting through some of your identity issues, I feel like both of you are so much more well-rounded now as an adult than you would have been, say, both of you were born in Korea. If you had stayed in Korea and that was the only country you ever stayed in, you went to the university in Korea, you got a job in Korea. No knock against people that stay in the same places or anything like that. I don't mean to
not at all.
That.
Yeah.
But I feel like you're not as myopic. You're more aware of other people and their plight, their situation. So if it didn't kill you, it makes you stronger and wiser. And so maybe in that regard, if you're more sensitive, Deb, let's say if you end up being a mom, you'll be probably more sensitive to that than maybe because your parents probably weren't as nomadic when they were your age, but now you were. So you would have a little bit more
ability to empathize and counsel.
Exactly.
That's
and
true.
Difference becomes less uncomfortable or stands out in a negative way or, you know, like even labeling it as different or like weird or strange or, you know, that kind of, I think, fades out with this kind of experience and mindset.
Yeah, that's encouraging to hear because even though you have wounds and scars, like you're not so wounded to know that it gave you a lot of benefits as well, and that you're embracing the difficulties and understanding that it shaped you.
Yeah, and again, like as you also kindly put, I think people are just different and we're all maturing and we're all growing hopefully for the better, right? We're all trying as people. And I think one experience over the other, there's no comparison like that. So of course, like my parents, like growing up in Korea and then maybe some education in the US, but mostly in Korea. And then others who are my friends and my colleagues who are like born in Korea and raised in Korea. I've like they have so much strength and maturity and perspective and knowledge. And so like, I don't think it's the experience, but like how you make out of that experience or how that kind of, how you let it shape you by processing it or by going deeper and trying to, figure out what could, better yourself and for others. So
I have a personal question for you as my 선배.
Am I?
Yeah, because like you lived in Korea for 3 years.
Oh, okay,
I'm reaching the end of my first year, and I'm curious because you also shared that in the beginning, most of your friends and your community was back in the States, and you maintained that. Now that you also have a friend group and community in Korea, how do you like balance those friendships, because for me, I'm already, even though it's only been 1 year, I'm already sensing that like Boston has moved on. You know, like there's new people at church that I've never met, I've never heard of. Like people have left. So like what we can share in common keeps decreasing.
Yeah.
And you also like, you can't like constantly schedule calls, right? Constantly. Because then
never
you
works
can't,
out. I'm
then you
sorry,
can't
friends.
be
My Boston
present.
friends.
You can't hang out with your Korean friends because like you're occupied Saturday morning to call a friend, which I was today, which I'm really thankful for. But I'm just thinking like down the line in 5-10 years, what does that look like? And how do you kind of navigate that?
I love this podcast.
Oh,
I feel like, I don't even feel a mic in front of me. Although you're wearing a headset. Interesting. Anyway, yeah, I think it's so like it's so fun to talk about these things, like where you can relate. Because for the first year, I think I just didn't have much friends here. So all my weekends was like full of calls in the mornings because like it's evening there. We'd try to match and we would be on the phone for 2 hours and each friend like that. So I kept in touch and yeah, I do like because I also moved around a lot and you know like I've seen like, oh, it seems like so seasonal in a sense, like even the ones that I lived with and close, we're so close, like sisters, you know, bonded so well. And I think now I'm like, yeah, I do, like we do have calls less and like we try and then sometimes like we just can't make it, you know? At the same time, like I think, yeah, I've like that's why even with our experiences, like it kind of makes you gain like new perspective about relationship or life too, because like I don't know, I think I was only like sometimes just sad about it. That like you kind of lose your like, wow, I thought I would go forever with this friendship and like this tightness and like, you know, being around each other every time. But then you move and like they move and, you know, it kind of wanes out and fades out or whatever. But I think I just now am more accepting and like just cherish that as is. Like the blossoming and then the really, you know, tight closeness. And then I noticed that as I don't know, like that's one of the things that I really like about being I don't think it's just a third culture thing, but like just being kind of open also to reconnecting with old friends or like friends of last season or previous seasons. You never know. Like suddenly you'll be like in Singapore next time and like seriously. And then I have like a friend that I like would just be sisters like the next day. Yeah, and I'll be staying over at her place and she came over and like I was so surprised that we like the friendship just rekindles and reignites and even blossoms more because there's like new layers. So it's just like open possibilities and of connection. And even the ones that are like a little bit like that, you still think about them and you still, you know, cherish them. And then I think that also makes you feel more like you value more of what you have now. So you pour in, you know, and I think it's totally healthy. Like you pour in, and then I know that maybe at some point in life, maybe we'll also be in different countries or different places, but still, I'm so grateful that I got to know you and like you and I were part of each of our lives, and like you can't replace anyone or I don't know.
Yeah, no, that's good. That's the right way to say it.
But at the same time, like so I will still like then also find my roots and you know love on other people who I'm present with at that time. And I think it was definitely a process for me because I was so attached to the idea of going back to Boston and just that was my family and that was my like I don't know, is there a better slang for this? Group or what? Crew or whatever?
It was my posse.
Okay. Anyway, So I actually didn't want to make friends here.
Oh.
Like there was a period actually where I was a little bit like that, but I totally changed with my community now, my friends now, and like I find such love and affection and care, and like with amongst this community, amongst my group of friends here and my colleagues. So yeah, it's been really like for me as a person, I don't know, maybe like I say that I'm very open, but maybe I'm also there are parts in me where I'm also very narrow-minded still, that I'm just fixated on like, I also just want to attach here. There is that tendency too.
Yeah.
But it's always like, wow, I never imagined that I can make so much friends in Korea or so many like new relationships that I never imagined could happen, even with like Korean or Koreans who aren't comfortable with like other cultures necessarily, I'm like, wow, I can talk with you. I can be your friend. And yeah. So yeah, that one last thing is it okay if I can add to the previous question that you asked? You were asking like how
you're our guest.
Okay, I will let you guys go later. But anyway, yeah, just I think your question was like how I kind of came out of just like seeing it as wounds and trauma, right? And like having a more healthier perspective about like growth and through these experiences. And I think what they are, one area I do think and I do want to continue to grow in is like love, like loving. And I think that's the greatest act, greatest like career, greatest pursuit in our lives, I guess, to love one another and to love ourselves, to love each other. And in that sense, like, I think even with the wounds and things that try to hinder that's like the negative side that's trying to pull towards that direction, right? Of like, there's an experience and that it's like almost like, I don't know, one force that tries to keep you in that direction of coloring that experience in that way. But there's another force where it's like, okay, you have to make a choice. Are you gonna like just suck your pain and just view that as like, oh, I had a terrible life and that's it, and I had so
like
much
pity,
hurt.
self-pity.
Yeah. Or do I choose to be like, okay, like I'm still healing and I'm still restoring, but like I think there is so much like strength in this, like what I can live out from now on, with the things that I've carried and with the experiences that I have, with the people that I've met with. And like, I think the love can even grow bigger, or the way we can love can mature, because by doing many of those experiences, you can then see other people in that situation. And then you can also stretch your love, expand your love, for things that you couldn't really do before. So
yeah, that's very profound. It's like, to summarize it, the more hurt you have, the more capacity of love that you have. In the sense of, because you know the deepest recesses of rejection, and then you're able to give the deepest love because you know the extent of the pain that you've had, and then you see the pain in the world, and then you want to embrace and love more. So I think that's a good thought process. I love it.
That's so mature.
Oh.
I'm not there yet.
Okay.
I'm glad you are.
Sorry. I'm sorry.
I have hope.
I'm way too. Go ahead.
Hannah disparages herself too much.
Yeah, she does. She knows.
Yeah, she's a
We know.
much better person than she portrays herself. Wow. One of the questions that Hannah wrote down is anything still difficult now that you've transitioned back to live locally as a Korean? Because you were technically not lost, but you were abroad before. But is anything still difficult for you?
Yeah, I would say. So I feel like here and there I might have mentioned it, but the endless possibility of uncertainty and choice of like, is it here or there, or what's next?
Okay.
Can I be here, or should I be here or there? Those series of questions, I think, is actually one of the challenges. So I would start that way, because like sometimes it's kind of like, I don't know, what do you call it, like double-sided, or where like, oh, there are these, like, it's good to have like this sort of third culture and like openness and like all that, but like, I don't know, like maybe sometimes I do wish at times where I'm like, I wish I just knew that I will be in Korea for the rest of my life, or I would just be in the US for the rest of my life, or like I would feel more at peace and comfortable in making life choices and decisions and commitments. But always having to be like, not, no one is forcing me, but like I always carry this like feeling, or maybe you guys also can relate, that it's like, I don't know where's next. And because maybe we were exposed to it, it's a bit more like that than people who like know that they will be here long term, or in one place, like long term. Like I feel like we may think a bit more like, even Hannah, like, you can go here or there, Singapore, or India, or US, and always having that option is, and then not just as option, but it's also like desire or identity, here at the core. Because I noticed even recently during my like overseas missions, where I'm like I just flow, and like I just love being like in Korea and also being outside. Like it just almost makes me like a mermaid.
Wait, what?
Was that?
Like
I'm a little lost.
Like you can live in the sea, but also live
on land.
On land. Type of
Yeah,
thing.
or
Like
you kind of have both. So like you kind of feel fully. Maybe it's not
not the
good
greatest analogy,
or
but
greatest analogy.
I kind of get the gist.
But yeah. It's like
you're not. You want to have choice, right?
Yeah.
Like between moving.
Yeah.
Between the two.
Like you feel alive when you're actually in like both.
Oh.
Not just you have to choose one or the other.
Yeah.
But then I'm saying that is like double-sided, because it does kind of give you this sort of, I don't know if it's anxiety, or maybe anxiety and instability in a sense, uncertainty.
Yeah.
And then you're like, even when you're considering many different things of like next steps or choices of now, you're kind of like, like I don't know what's gonna happen tomorrow. Like maybe I'll be in here or there, and so but at the same, so I think I've been going through that too these days. Although I'm at peace of being here at the moment, but that's where I think I just need to, I would say it's not totally resolved. Like I'm still processing, and because I do sometimes just really wish I can just say, I'm just going to be in Korea for the rest of my life. Like it's all settled. Like, great, I'm going to have, this and that here, start planning my life here. And I'm going to, end here in this way. But always that option of, like, do I move next? Do I have to move? Or, do I then come back? All that. But like, how do I view that not as like, a very, just as a challenge or just as a struggle, but how do I just take joy in that? And how do I see that as life is a box of chocolates? Chocolates are all good. So yeah. So, those questions. Yeah.
I guess a follow-up question to that is, what do you appreciate more now that you're like kind of a local? You've settled in Korea.
What do I appreciate more?
About Korea.
About Korea. I think it's a deep question. Because of maybe complicated relation with like feelings about Korea. But like nevertheless, like I think it's deeper because I actually like there's such a even if I say like third culture or whatever, like I do have a sense of love, affection for this country a lot. Like it's a strong thing. And I do care a lot. So I'm just grateful being local here that it's just giving me so much space, room to I don't know how to like even say this because it feels so deep, like just being one with this country and like kind of like in swimming, like floating and just being part of the water again, you know, or being part of the water and just feeling like, oh, it's okay. I'm floating and I'm breathing. And I think the joy, the perk and the joy has been ever since I came back to Korea has been that like discovering and rediscovering myself in this nation. And that actually learning like I can belong and fit in and really just have great moments of interaction and connection with or friendships with different people in Korea. And I love my my supervisors at workplace or even a lot of Koreans that I interact with through work. I just love, and even just like through different connections. And I'm actually for the first time even like attending alumni events in my college, at my college, and like making even new friends outside of church. So it's been really amazing, and I'm really grateful. That this is happening.
Yeah, I love this perspective because I think for a lot of people who who are of Korean descent, or you could be a different descent of a different country, but then coming back to your either your passport country or your birth country, I think it's fascinating for people to see the different perspectives that you have when you come back to live in your country again.
And I do think it's not just about like I think there are actually things that you kind of need for that to happen. Sometimes it like naturally can happen where the environment and the people are just great and your experience is again great. And I think part of it is that right now. Like I do really feel such blessing of like new, friendships and new things, experiences here, like great experiences that kind of are compensating or replacing the old ones, the harder ones. But I think through all our experiences, I think it's also me who, not in a prideful way or proudful way or whatever, but it's like maybe the tool that I was able to obtain through all the sufferings and, and perspective and mindset where like I also had to get out of that sort of pity mode, whatever, like scar mode, and also what do you call that? Like 피해의식.
Like
victim mentality. Oh, that was big. If you have that for your life, like you can just never, you never can overcome it. Yeah. But like really had to go through that. And even now, like when people throw things or, say things and it doesn't sit well, like, you kind of have to also brush it off and be like, give the benefit of doubt. And then you can still, engage again. So I think those really started to build up all together. And now like I was more ready to like be myself. And I think it does come both ways. It's like the society or the people around you or, your friends, your family can be the ones that accept you, and that's important. That's like half. And then the other half is you accepting yourself. You willing to be yourself to be accepted. Oh, I'm talking to myself again. I haven't been faithful in that way.
Yeah. It's really great for people to see how people deal with things differently. So I love the perspective that you bring.
So it's still like I haven't fully like I'm still, there are parts where I'm not confident or I'm not like fully doing it, but like letting that out, and like you have to also be in the picture. You have to be in the table in order for that acceptance or belonging to actually happen.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
yeah.
Wow. Thanks for sharing your story, Deb. We really appreciate it. Like,
Yeah.
I feel like I've learned more nuances to who you are. Like, even though I'm like also getting to know you as a friend, and we're so thankful that you were willing to be on camera and like to share your story with all of our listeners.
Yeah. For the two of you, you're at a stage in your life where the unknown is still like a reality that you wrestle with.
Yeah.
So like with Deb and both also you, Hannah, you both kind of like, I'm not really sure where God is going to lead me. I'm like at this stage. And for me, being a bit older, like I'm in Korea where this is where my final roots are. This is where like I don't plan on leaving.
Really?
Is my intention.
I didn't know this.
Yeah. My hope is that this is my last and final destination. Sure, I am traveling on with my videos, and I do like to travel, and I will travel. Yes, check it out. But I feel like Korea is like, okay, I'm at my resting place. I'm not as adventurous anymore. This is where I will finally. But when I was you guys' age, I definitely was much more open to like, where's God going to lead me? Like, am I going to live in California? Am I going to go back to Oregon? Am I going to live overseas? So I had a lot more like thought and adventure in my mind. So yeah, I think that's good for both of you to have.
Until what age? 30, 40?
Yeah, when I was you guys' age. Yeah, when I was young and full of adventure.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Deb. It was awesome to have you. I think it'd be pretty cool to follow up at some point and see where life has taken you in the future.
Yeah, in a few months.
Yeah, to come back and be a recurring guest. Yeah. But in the meantime, you all, thank you so much for tuning in to our podcast. Of course, we do have our 5 platforms on podcasts, but your best view is on YouTube. Please make sure you like and subscribe, smash that like button. And we'll see you all next week. All right. God bless. Peace.
Bye.
Bye.